What's up, guys? I'm Emily Swallow. If you're looking at this, you're watching the Virtual Cantina Network. This is the way.
Hey, this is Katie O'Brien, and you're watching the Virtual Cantina Network.
Hello. Hi, everyone. And
Hello.
Happy New Year. Happy 2024.
Hello there.
Woo.
Welcome, everyone, to our 2024 kickoff here at the Virtual Cantina Network, as well as our 2023 year-end review. We've got a collection of hosts from across the network where we're going to talk about some of our favorite things from the past year, some of the things we are most looking forward to in Star Wars in 2024, and give you a little sneak peek about what's coming up on the network and in the fandom to get excited about. So I'm Mark von Ohlen. I'm the programming director here, and I'm going to send it around the room for everyone to introduce themselves, starting with Spencer.
Hi, I'm Spencer Jawitz. I'm one of the co-hosts for the Thursday night Virtual Cantina Watch Along and one of the admins for the group.
Am I up? Is it me? Is it me now? Hi, I'm Dave O'Neill. I am the executive producer, or one of the executive producers for the Virtual Cantina Network, and I co-host the Watch Along Thursday nights with Spencer, as well as co-host and produce the Unifying Force on our one of our Sunday shows.
And I'm Mike, co-host of VC Jedi Archives, airing on every first and third Sunday of the month, or second and fourth. One of those two.
First and third.
One of the
It's
Sundays.
first and third, Mike.
We alternate.
It's on sometimes. Just figure it out. I am AJ. I host the Nerf Herder Council with my brother JT every other Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time here on the network.
See, look, Mike, AJ knows when his show's on.
Yeah. So I'm also glad that I'm here. I'm another co-host of the Jedi Archives, which I can confirm is the first and third Sunday of every month. We do take the fifth Sunday off just to let everybody know so they can have a break.
I'm Jeff, co-host the Thursday night watch-alongs, and I produce Rebels Revisited on Monday nights. Fun times.
And I should mention, I'm the co-host of Rebels Revisited along with Ashley Branzo. I also produce The Daughters of the Galaxy, which is on the Wednesday that the Nerf Herders are not on. So we've also got an alternating schedule. So quite a number of shows on the network. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We've got just about every show represented. I'm going to be filling in for Daughters of the Galaxy and Rebels Revisited. Talked to Ashley before this to sort of get her take on what she's most excited about and what she loved best about 2023. I got to tell you, 2023 was a crazy year for Star Wars. We had several shows, a Star Wars celebration, which is kind of the point of our whole group over here, and a lot of really fun stuff that happened on the network. So I'm going to kick it back around the room one more time to ask the core question. What did you guys love best about 2023? And I'm going to start with Spencer.
So I have a top three things I liked in 2023.
I'm going to start a little stopwatch. So, yeah.
Okay. Number one, just because I'm self-promoting, Boonty Eve London was next level in so many different ways. And it actually changed my life in many capacities that people don't even know about. But we'll talk more about Boonty Eve later on. Mm-hmm. Number two, the fact that some of us got to be in the same room with Ray Stevenson in London, not even knowing what was to come.
Of course.
With Ahsoka. So the fact that I was able to be at that panel when they announced him and seeing him on the main stage was probably one of my highlights of the year. And then I would say a tie for number three. One is #Cantina in London. I want to give props out to them because they put a fantastic event together. But also, I think show of the year, Ahsoka.
We're definitely going to be talking about Ahsoka. just to remind everyone what happened in 2023, we had the Ahsoka show, we had Bad Batch, we had a new Visions, Star Wars Celebration, London, a ton on the publishing side that I'm sure Mike and Bryce can take us through because I am not as well adept at all of that. And we had the Young Jedi Adventures as well as the Tales of the Jedi. So actually quite a bit of animation this year as well.
And
so,
season 3 Mando.
Season 3 Mando hit at the end of... No, oh, you're right. I keep thinking it was at the end of 2022. That's how bonkers my year has felt.
Yeah.
Yes, but yes, Mando season 3. So it's been a lot. All right, I like the top 3. And so Dave, as we kick down to you, if you have more than one item, feel free. You can either expand on one big thing or list a couple of things that you really enjoyed.
Excellent. Well, a lot of things. I did not get to go to Celebration London, but I really enjoyed, and it was a lot of fun preparing for Boonta London. Is a lot of fun and a lot of crazy. Just let me, But to see who was going to be there and get to kind of experience that, I really enjoyed our programming here on the network when Celebration London was going on, because that was a really nice way to kind of bring everything back, and we had a lot of people participating in that, and that was a really kind of fun thing.
Never did so much research for a show ever.
And never will again. But other than that, I've gone to a couple of really cool cons and met a lot of Virtual Cantina family at cons, specifically like road tripped and traveled to go do that this year. And that's been one of my real highlights.
I'm assuming the Knoxville show in particular, that seemed like a big turnout with all of the. It was Knoxville. It was definitely Tennessee.
So I've done both. I went to Knoxville and I went to ICCC, which was technically Nashville. It was outside at the fairgrounds this time. It was in Lebanon, Tennessee, which is about 40 minutes outside of Nashville. I think next year it's going to be in Nashville proper. It's going to be moving back closer. So, but that was a super fun show with all the Rebels voice actors.
Yeah, that was very cool. I'm sad I missed that. I'm sure the FOMO hit everyone this year in some form or another. As Dave mentioned, he wasn't actually at Celebration London, but it felt like he was because he was the head of our news desk. So you and Jeff and Ashley and everyone contributing behind the scenes, sending the info in, allowed us to have pretty comprehensive coverage every day of the show. And I think that's when our Facebook group went from like 50,000 attendees to 60,000. It was bonkers. Every day there was a new graphic trying to keep up with how many people had joined the group. It was amazing. Yeah, London was incredible. All right, Mike, 2023, tell us what your highlights were.
Ooh, well, my highlights are a little bit varied for Star Wars. I mean, one of my highlights is definitely Jedi Survivor. Great game, so fun. Love the storyline, all the characters. I love Cal Kestis. I love me Cal Kestis. So that was one of my highlights. Another one was, of course, the Young Jedi Adventures. I really love that series. I love Nubs. He's too cute, and all the little figures and everything, and the animation is perfect because all my nephews and nieces have kids, and their kids are like 4 and 5, and they are so hooked on Star Wars thanks to Young Jedi Adventures. So that tells me that Star Wars is going to be here for a long time because it's being, programmed into the young children, the younglings. So that made me happy. And the last thing that I really, really loved was the High Republic, of course. I can't get away from that. In our review the comics of the High Republic, and we also we read the novels, but we don't review them. And my favorite was the first book of Phase 3, which was just fantastic. And I loved it because it could serve as an on-ramp for fans who have not read anything of High Republic, because it really is such a good book. You can just start there. You might not know who all the characters were, but that's okay because I didn't know who they were when I watched New Hope, and we figured it out later. So that would be a great on-ramp for fans who want to get into the High Republic.
I'm glad you used the phrase on-ramp because I think with High Republic, you're bringing in fully outside of the Skywalker era, brand new characters. You don't need to know anything going in. And then for the little kids, I know Jamie Graham, who's a host of Daughters of the Galaxy, her 2-year-old Sabine, named Sabine, is obsessed with the Young Jedi Adventures. So Yeah.
And by the way, Young Jedi Adventures also ties into the High Republic because there was a crossover event this year with
already.
Yeah, already with 3 of the characters from the High Republic novels and another one mentioned. So Avar Chris was mentioned. So 4 characters from High Republic that showed up in animation. So that was a lot of fun. Can I add one more thing? Another highlight was the HasLab
the
Ghost. Yes. So super
all things
happy
Rebels this year. We are winning. Awesome. Good list. And I'm glad you mentioned Jedi Survivor as well, because for the gamers this year, I think most people really enjoyed that game. All right, moving over to AJ. Tell us what you loved best about 2023, aside from, of course, becoming part of the Virtual Cantina Network family. I think you're our newest host.
Well, Mark, if you're just going to steal one of my points, I guess. Yeah, no, it's been a great year for Rebels, absolutely. But for me, my 2 were, 1, obviously joining the network and joining this awesome group of people. We've been friends for a while, but it's awesome after 9 years of podcasting to finally be part of a larger world. But for me, I think the highlight for me this year was actually the announcement of new movies in the works. As much as I love the Disney Plus shows, Star Wars has always been a big screen franchise to me. So the fact that we have something to look forward to and know that we're going to be getting more Star Wars on the big screen, that's the heart and soul of the franchise to me. So I love knowing that we've got that to look forward to, and that they're, as much as Rise of Skywalker might be divisive, they're not completely shying away from that era of Star Wars storytelling, and they're continuing on with those characters.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Rey come back and on the big screen. I definitely want to get into a theater. Streaming has changed all the ways we're viewing media, and it'll be nice to have to feel like an event to go to something in the theater. Yeah.
So would you say that your brother's #1 is live action Portals?
1000%.
That's his number 2. It's definitely number 2 as far as he's concerned. No, I think we both loved Ahsoka though overall. So I guess an honorable mention to the Ahsoka series in general. Seeing a lot of that stuff, minus the whales who shall not be named.
Yeah. And that's what I love about Star Wars. It's weird and wacky. There's something for everyone, and other stuff not at all for them. Like, I keep telling people I need to get up to speed on High Republic, and I don't even know where to get started. And as Mike said, phase 3, I was like, have I missed 2 whole phases already? It feels daunting, right?
Yeah.
So, but everyone's loving it, so I gotta jump in. All right, I'm gonna kick it over to Bryce. Your tops for 2023. I'm hoping you give us some good little nuggets too about, as someone who isn't deep into the literature side of stuff, how do we get started into High Republic and things like that?
So the whole High Republic thing to begin with is fantastic. When they announced it in 2019, they're mimicking how the trilogies of the movies came out, right? So phase 1 is the original trilogy. Then you go to phase 2, which is your prequels, and then phase 3 is your sequels. So you can read them in any order that you want. I recommend Light of the Jedi from Charles Soule. If you're not hooked after the first chapter, I don't know. Maybe to me it was the first chapter, and then it's just been awesome ever since. Mike and I, read the comics and the novels. So we and every book, But the great thing is you can read just the adult novels and have a story. You can read just the junior novels, have a story. You can read the young adult novels, have a full story. Same thing with the comics, like whether you go with Dark Horse or IDW, who had it before, the High Republic Adventures, or if you go with just the Marvel stories. Every single facet is its own story. You can sit and enjoy it. Maybe all you want to do is read the adult novels and then go, man, I actually now want to jump into here. Or maybe you just want to read the comics and then jump into the books. It doesn't matter. That's the beautiful thing about it. Everything is cohesive. All the characters do cross over at some point into the different medias, but it's just an absolute fantastic thing that they've done. Very excited. Well, I'll get to that later for something else. But my 2023, expand on a few things that Spencer said real quick. I mean, for me, Celebration and being able to go to London was huge. And I mean all of it. The panels, seeing everybody that was able to make it, Boonta, everything like that was fantastic. Jedi Survivor, I packed in nearly 90 hours on that game. I have beat it and I'm playing it again because it was just that good. So that for me was great from the video game side. From TV show, I'm Ahsoka. I just, it's just a lot of really cool things that happened within that show that also came inspired from other pieces of media. Especially when we see Ahsoka the Grey go into Ahsoka the White, very Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien's kind of thing. So that to me was like just awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much my thing.
It's a packed year. It's hard to choose, right?
Talk about the fact that your daughter. Can we talk about the fact that your daughter's now a Celebration legend? Thanks for
yes. If I gave you Sophia's list, we don't have enough time. She does Young Jedi Adventures, though. Probably, if I had to ask her, is her favorite thing to come out. But she's loved everything Star Wars that's come out.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it's about. My nieces are getting into it now, and it's. Yeah,
and let me just add that you were talking about getting into the High Republic. If you're not a big reader, all those adult novels, at least, and I think the junior novels are in audiobooks as well. Like I listened to the first couple as an audiobook, and they're fantastic. Just
all of the novels are available as audiobooks.
Yeah, so
all of them.
If it seems daunting to just read it, like I have it downloaded on my phone, and it was something that I would listen to if I was going to be driving for more than an hour or something like that. Is just put it in, and they're.
Yeah, and two of them are audio dramas, so they're actually full casts.
Yeah,
Tempest Runner and the Battle of Jeddah, which are Phase 1 and Phase 3, or no, Phase 1 and Phase 2.
That's awesome. All right, I got to get into these audio dramas, guys. All right, that's the next. Of course, like, you know what it is? I spend so much time listening to our own shows, and then I'm like, I got to make time in the car for the rides to listen to all of that. So I'm going to start squeezing in some audio dramas in 24. That'll be on my read more resolution. It's just going to be listening to stuff in the car. All right, Jeff, kicking it over to you. Highlights from 2023.
Mainly involving Ahsoka. I really, really, really enjoyed all the new Anakin stuff that they did with the Clone Wars, flashbacks. That stuff was amazing. I loved seeing Anakin in different phases of his, development. Obviously, Ray Stevenson was amazing in his role, and it's unfortunate that we don't get more of him. But mainly it was Clone Wars Anakin that was my top 3. Mm-hmm. So I was very, very pleased when I saw that scene pop up in that show. That was one of the things that just sparked my brain.
Oh yeah, I feel like they executed it correctly too. We talk a lot about fan service over here, and I think when fan service is done right, they call it payoff. That felt like payoff for people who had followed the Clone Wars. Were keeping up with these characters, wanted to see something interesting, and just seeing Anakin in the blue and red outfit was unreal. Like it felt I didn't really quite understand what I was seeing, but I knew I liked it. Like it was like, this is crazy. All of those scenes I think worked really well. And it's actually why Ahsoka's at the number 1 on my list as well. This has been an incredible year for Star Wars. And as I was making my sort of top list, so I'm glad Spencer started off with the top 3. I had like 15 things on here, and I was like, how do you cut all of these things down? Because within Ahsoka, it's like we saw Grand Admiral Thrawn return, and Lars Mikkelsen was spectacular. Baylan Skull is like everyone's new favorite character now, and of course, like we have to honor now the legacy of Rey, and we don't know where he's going next, the character, but his performance was incredible. Shin Hati has become the goddess of memes. Driving that little speeder with her cigarette. I wish I could be that cool. Like it's the kind of thing like where so much happened just in that one show. And then there's Celebration London, the event at the O2 with Cantina. Boonta Eve was incredible. San Diego Comic-Con was great. Rhode Island Comic-Con was great. We inducted Chris into the Hall of Fame. Like the list of things for this year just goes on and on and on. It's almost impossible to rank it, because of all these different things that happen.
Add one other thing that I was very happy to see happen was the amount of Rebels attention that was garnered, and seeing Rebels move from way off the side of the list of animated shows all the way up to the 2nd spot on Disney Plus.
Exactly. We jumped the we jumped the line.
So that was very cool. I was stoked to see that happen. It made it easier to find the episodes when I was trying to load up for a watch along, etc. But I thought that was really cool to see that kind of come back into the the forefront.
We all know that's only because the Rebels Revisited. It never would have happened without that show.
Oh yeah, groundswell for sure.
To everyone on this network who championed Rebels, I will say, like, it felt like a banner year for Rebels. The Ahsoka show really felt like Rebels season 5 in a lot of ways. The merch, while most of the merch is Ahsoka driven, like sort of the live action interpretation of the characters, the Rebels characters are getting a lot of attention, and it looks like they're all being well received on the circuit too. So the new actors who are playing Sabine and Ezra are getting good lines and good feedback going to conventions and stuff, like keeping the legacy of the show alive.
They all seem like they're having a lot of fun doing that too. So
yeah. Oh yeah. As Esmond signing as Jabba the Hutt on things. I mean, they're all having a grand old time out there, which is also nice to see that the convention circuit is kind of coming back. Like this Rhode Island Comic-Con and this San Diego Comic-Con felt completely different from 2022 in terms of size and scale and scope. And that event down in ICCC, where I think half of the VCN were there, it was pretty incredible.
Well, I think part of what you're seeing is that we had that SAG-AFTRA strike, and you don't know what you got till it's gone. So once all that promotion that we're so used to went away, now that it's coming back, we realize, oh, this is really cool. Okay, so now the appearances mean more than they used to because we didn't have them for a while.
Yep.
Now we just
Mark, would you say an honorable mention was touching the mural?
Oh boy. So as I umbrella everything under 2023, all the Rebels love certainly is what sort of ties it all together. But yes, I literally will go to prison as a licensee. I was building the booth at Celebration early, right? And I saw the mural going up before it was revealed to the public, so I knew it was going to be there. And then during teardown, the security wasn't there. So I have a picture of me in front of the mural, multiple poses, this and that, and then I actually touched the mural. And then I was like, okay. And then someone started walking over. I was like, okay, I'm going to leave now. So yeah, then I ran back to my booth. It was a very, very busy Star Wars Celebration, but I have more photos than you can count of me in front of the mural. And that's definitely a moment. And then it happened again at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah,
they pulled another one.
That it was there. I was
it
so
was
happy
very cool. They need to put that somewhere where it's easily accessible for everyone to take pictures, because it really is a moment. And seeing it in the show was incredible. Right in the first episode too, there was no chill on that. They were like, oh yeah, we're just going to show you where we are, and here's a mural, and we're set, and you know the world you're in. That was all very exciting.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Star Wars Wailing Walls. Like people will go there as Mecca.
Put our hopes and prayers and wishes and all of that.
Little scrolled up pieces of paper into the cracks.
Yeah, and look, I also think you could do the same thing with like the Mortis Gods, like that little mural from. It's not quite as iconic, but knowing that it was such a string to pull within, and the final shot of the Ahsoka show is sort of Balin standing on top of the Mortis Father, and that's where we're headed. That's incredible. I hope we actually. I want to do a little speculation for 2024 closer to the end of the show, but I hope that's where we're headed, and I think people have thoughts about where that could be going. So 2023 packed with activity. Shows from Star Wars, live events, a lot of things we did on the network. We launched a couple of new shows. We had the Nerf Herders join us. They're on alternating Wednesdays. And AJ, tell us a little bit more about your specific show, because it's not 100% Star Wars. So give us a little rundown of like the things you're covering on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, so we've been on the air for 9 years now, actually. So we don't tend to dive into like such detail as all the great shows on the network do. As a result, result of 9 years of being on the air and not getting we're just not smart enough to get down in the details as much as the other shows on the network. So we kind of do a split schedule where there's always going to be Star Wars content on the channel. We always make sure that there's at least one Star Wars show per month. And then we tend to pick like Marvel or something sci-fi based or something else for the second show. Now, if it's a heavy Star Wars news month or something, if there's a show on or something that really needs talked about, we'll cover it. But we tend to alternate back and forth. Like our last episode was a review of Violent Night.
Amazing.
We just, we were on the week of Christmas, so we're like, okay, what can we do fun and holiday themed? And last year it was debating whether or not Die Hard was a Christmas movie. And this Violent Night movie came along. We're like, yeah,
definitely a Christmas movie.
Perfect.
There's snow.
I would respectfully disagree, but that's something we can go and watch on YouTube together, and you can see what I think about that. But yeah, so our show, I'm very proud to say this is the first show on the network, I believe, that has to read a disclaimer ahead of every episode.
See, they don't realize,
and that bled over to when you guys co-hosted the watch along. The watch along got a
what? So does everyone forget that I curse all the time and I have to stop myself? Like,
it's not a question of cursing; it's a question of saying something that might be controversial. And I'm not looking at Adam, but
no.
Right.
I try to keep it clean. One of us has to be respectable on the show. But yeah, so
it's a
ours
lot
is
of
very
fun.
much. We try to have a good time. That's the thing. We try to, as the Brits say, take the piss out of things. You know, it's still a franchise. It's a fandom. You got to have fun with it. You can't take it too seriously. Where I couldn't possibly say that about it. Like, we love it, and when you love something, you can respectfully tease it a little bit. So when something's not quite up to spec, we can. There's room for comedy there. And we're not shy about it. I mean, we just launched a new shirt on our TeePublic, and we invented 3 other members of Chewbacca's family for the holiday special. So,
oh boy,
if you want the full rundown, you can go to shop.nerfherdercouncil.com and see 3 new members you never knew about. Chewie's got a past, man. I'm telling you.
He's pretty old. I feel like there's definitely history we don't know.
When you're 190 years old, you get around. There's a few X's in the skeletons in the closet and such.
So that's what everyone can look forward to, alternating Wednesdays. So some Star Wars content, some larger geekdom fandom content. I'm a big Marvel fan. I know right now all the talk of the town is the end of the DCEU with the launch of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom just came out this week. I opened YouTube and I'm just bombarded with like not only reviews of the movie, but basically the end of a 10-year movie franchise. So a lot of change happening within fandom. And the way in which we consume media. I think that's going to spill over into Star Wars next year. Now with all of the rumors of will WB and Paramount merge, that's not legal. There's no way that's going to happen.
Right.
The government's not going to allow that. But there might be a blend of their streaming services. I don't know. There's any number of things that could happen. But a lot of change, I think, on the horizon. On Wednesdays, so the Nerf Herders are on every other Wednesday. Daughters of the Galaxy is on the other alternating Wednesday, and Jamie Graham and Ashley Brienzo cover all the female characters within the Star Wars franchise, doing big character studies, deep dives, talking about in the movies, the cartoons, even the books, working on some really exciting character profiles going into 2024. Their latest episode from last month was actually a Geek Girl shopping guide. So I know it's the 23rd, and actually this is airing on New Year's Day, so we missed the boat on that. But if anyone does want to support any of those small scale creators, you can go check out that episode, and they have some awesome merch, and it's all very bespoke. We're talking Etsy shop level. We're not pumping like the major licensees or anything
really
like
cool
that.
stuff in there.
Some of the best stuff is on Etsy. My hat's from Etsy, and I got the Mudhorn sigil on there and stuff. And it's quality product. Love it.
I will tell you, as an official licensee, it is the number one thing that I would say is my number one competitor, like the small scale shops, and because they make cool stuff and they do it quickly and it's out like same day. So as a major licensee, that's tricky. Like this shirt was sold out at Celebration, and it's not even the right size for me, and I just got what I could get. And but if you go on Etsy, people have this. Like this is available in other places, not officially licensed. So that's the new way things are changing in the fandom as well. All right, so I think that captures 2023 and the news that happened both within Star Wars and on the network. And I know we do want to specifically talk more about Celebration and Boonta Eve. So Spencer, tell us a little bit about how Boonta Eve went in 2023. What were some of the highlights? And then I know you have a video to share as well.
So Boonta was completely daunting, scary, exciting, exhilarating, nerve-wracking, all adjectives you can think of, and then some. It was the event that we didn't even think was going to happen until one fateful night over a year ago. I happened to run into DJ Elliott out in Florida, and he said, Boonta needs to be in London. That's all I really needed to hear. And it was everything and anything that we thought it could be. When we did Bunta 2022 in Anaheim, if we had a business model, that event threw that business model out the window. And we knew that leaving Biggs that night. We really stepped it up. The Breakfast Club, which was literally the perfect location, and actually, unbeknownst to me, a 30-second walk from the Sky Bridge to the ISB building in Andor made it even more exciting. But also, you had to go through the Canary Wharf tube stop, where they did a scene in Rogue One just to get to our event. So immersive, incredible actors, and crewmen signing throughout the day. Big props to Blues Harvest, which is I would say, top Geekdom band. Probably, I would say there's an argument in the world. Performing acoustically for us in one of our rooms. DJ Level Up Leroy, who is Europe's top geek DJ, spinning for us and running Aldron Idol with the incomparable details. It was just like everything around it. It worked, and it worked because honestly, we had great partners involved in it. We had an incredible team running the event. Bryce was one of our crew, in-house, and we had an incredible crew, running every aspect of the event, all the way through to, I have to say that, within minutes of footage being uploaded to our company Google Drive, the people at home like Jeff and Dave and Ashley getting it up on the page. So 6 hours behind, you guys were pretty much close to exactly what was going on at that particular time. It was just
Can I just jump in on that real quick? I was in London working on the floor, and I felt really disconnected from the news. I would put on the news file that our network was sharing to find out what the hell happened all day, even though I was physically in London, because they had all the stuff that you guys were sending over. It was awesome. Jeff and Dave and Ashley crushed it. Like, they need to be our lead news anchors for all things on a go forward.
Well, it's going to be incredible when we figure out what happened, what we're going to do in Japan in 25 next year. But Bunta was incredible, it literally led to things that we're going to talk about later in the broadcast with our family vacation, which would not have been possible if London was not such a success. But with the footage that we were able to get and the tireless efforts of Mr. Jeff putting together another incredible recap, we're going to do a world premiere right now of the official recap of Bunta Eve 2023 London from the Breakfast Club. So, Dave, whenever you have a moment.
All right, so let's see. Here goes the let's press the buttons and see what goes down.
How's everybody doing tonight at the Bunta Eve? Getting ready for Level Up Leroy. We're in the Breakfast Club, which is one of my all-time favorite movies of the 1980s, besides A New Hope, besides Empire Strikes Back, and besides Return of the Jedi. I had to preface that. It's my privilege to introduce the incomparable Blues Harvest with the official theme song for Bunta Eve. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Woo! Welcome to Aldron Idol For a long time coming, we're glad to be here. Give it up for the Breakfast Club. To all of our guests who are here throughout the day, signing for you guys. Thank you very much. But thank you to everybody who's been part of Star Wars. So that was Boonta Eve 2023. I mean, Bryce, you helped work on that on the ground level at the event, and you were behind the scenes with me over in the trenches in Anaheim. It was a completely different atmosphere, but it was so rewarding, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, there's a lot of up and down stairs too, having it on multiple levels. So that was got a little bit of a workout in. It was great. We had to make some pivots. We lost a judge, and you stepped in and judged the idol contest. So that was cool. To
be clear, he didn't die. He just had to leave.
Yes, correct. Yes, sorry. Yeah, I did.
It's on conflict.
I mean, I think he literally got lost. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. So no, it was a great event. I 100% better than the one that we had in Anaheim. I know there was a little bit more chaos, but that's also what's going to happen when you have that many more people as well. But yeah, it was fantastic. Super happy to be a part of it. Sarah and Sophia were happy to be a part of that too. They were there for a good portion of it, helping out, pass out things in the beginning. So.
Well, and it's always fun when you get a live appearance of the flat one.
I mean, I've been blessed to see him live 2 years in a row. I mean,
wow.
I think no.
But Mark, you came in after you set up your booth. I mean, what was your thought process when you came in, you saw the building and everything that was going on?
Awesome venue. So much fun. Look, I was there in Anaheim, and that was a blast, and it was packed the whole time, and it was just it was a party, right? So going into Anaheim or going into London, I wasn't sure how many people were going to show up. Like, this is an international show, still hundreds of people. The party was still going, and I came pretty late. Like, I missed a good chunk of Boonta. Like, I didn't get there until after the autograph signings had stopped, and people were still equally thrilled to be there for the interacting with the fans. Like, you know how sometimes you're going to an event and you're like, oh, the draw is the talent. The talent was part of it, but like people stayed late and hung out and got to spend like lots of quality time with each other, which is, I think, the most important part of like this group, you know, finding our friends, finding our tribe, and having fun and celebrating Star Wars together. That's what it was all about. And we were there late. I remember it was hard to get a cab. That was a whole thing at the end of the night. We were walking around in circles, did not know how to get back to our hotel. So we knew we stayed out a little too late and drank a little too much, which means it was a very good night. Not as messy as the cantina at the O2. That was pure chaos in the best possible way. We had so much fun at that. I think all of London was just a tremendous time, once in a lifetime. But with once in a lifetime, we're going to try to do it again because we're a bunch of lunatics over here. Let's talk a little bit about family vacation, and then we'll get into the rest of the stuff we're excited about for 2024. Spencer, give everyone the deets. I know we have a graphic with like the main info. What is it, July 29th through August 2nd? It is so soon.
Yes. So as they were just showing, we're taking what we did in our family vacation 1, and then adding the elements of Bunta Eve, adding the elements of a good old-fashioned geek road trip, and just making it a hodgepodge of awesomeness that happens to go at the tail end of San Diego Comic-Con. So we're psychotic to tail against the world's largest convention, but that's how we roll because we're silly like that here at the VCN. But we got a week's worth of activities. Now the first bus for the trip is completely sold out. The second bus is on hold right now because we want to make sure that we're able to fill it. However, we're going to have so many public events that it's going to be absolutely lunacy. Just to give you guys a little bit of an insight, night 1 is going to be a Bunta Eve special edition with a theme element coming up where we're going to have, I would say now at this point, maybe close to 20 signers at Scum and Villainy, which is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Some surprises and karaoke. This great graphic right there from Scum and Villainy. We're really going to test the boundaries of what Scum and Villainy can do, but that's not unusual for us. Also, we're going to be going back on Tuesday night to Big's Bar and Grill, Scene of the Crime in Fullerton for another themed Bunta Eve special edition, as well as some karaoke and some other events going on there. Wednesday, we're heading over to Disneyland for a day over at Galaxy's Edge. Thursday, heading directly up to San Francisco with a not-so-virtual cantina coming to you live from Slate Bar in downtown San Fran. And then some spatterings of things happening on Friday in San Francisco, ending with a family portrait outside the Yoda fountain at Lucasfilm in the Presidio. So, whole lot of great things, but, I mean, I'm so excited about this. Like I said, all of our Bunta Eves and our not-so-virtual cantinas are going to be free events, all ages to a certain time, get to meet some actors. But we're very lucky in the fact that a number of our actors took it upon themselves to head over to Scum and Villainy to shoot a little something. So let's show that.
Hey, I'm actor Chris Bartlett from The Mandalorian and the other shows. I play the Jawitz, and I'm here with some friends to talk about our special event here at Scum and Villainy in Hollywood, California.
I'm Dawn Dininger, and I play the Rhodian prisoner and Lieutenant Beta, and a few others. She played Tika the Jawa on Obi-Wan Kenobi, also Jawa on Mandalorian and the Double.
Hi, I am Misty Roses, and I play Cleo and Frog Lady and a few other characters on The Mandalorian. We can't wait to meet you here at Scum and Villainy, July 29th, 2024.
May the Force See you.
See you soon.
So yeah, right there alone, you could see that we got VCN Hall of Famers Chris Bartlett, Leilani Shu, along with Don Dinger and Missy Rosas, joining a whole slew of actors and crewmen that we're going to have at our Scum and Villainy event, signing autographs, doing meet and greets, singing some karaoke. It's just going to be absolutely incredible. And, you know, we don't turn things up to 11 here. We turn things up to 15. And it's going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be an incredible week, and hope that, you know, even if you don't come for the full trip, that you can come and meet us at any location. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of great times, a lot of laughs, and just getting excited for everything that's going to happen, because this is going to be a precursor to Japan. But it's just going to be awesome. I'm so excited about this event.
Yeah, this really feels like our celebration 2024. And for everyone, like Spencer said, a lot of free events. We'll be in Southern California, we'll be in Northern California, we'll be in Disneyland at Galaxy's Edge. There's a lot going on, and we've announced the first 4 autograph signers, as Spencer mentioned, with a lot more on the way, and most importantly, hanging out with each other. You know, it is a family vacation, and if you just can't get enough of us, there's going to be at least 50 or so people right now headed out to California for the event. It's going to be so much fun. And that's one of many, many things happening in 2024. I'm personally, I'm going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, of course, and then I'll hop right over. And I'm already thinking about, like, oh man, like this is a back-to-back extravaganza of geekdom, because I'm sure a lot of us are going to be at San Diego. I think we have some news on that front from the network as well. Dave, you're attending San Diego this year.
Yes, I am going to go to San Diego, and we, of course, have a meetup there. Since there are going to be a ton of people there at many larger cons, we try and get a meetup. So we're going to have one right there at the convention. So you can come out for just that if you're in the area. You come in early for the family vacation. And then I think some crazy people we've got San Diego, we've got the family vacation. Then there's the span of like maybe a week. And then there's D23.
D23. Yep.
Like,
yeah. So I'm just going to go live in California for the month of July and August. So
Yeah.
that'll be a lot of fun. Who's going to be at D23? I feel like, Mike, that's something you would do.
I love D23. Yeah, I'm probably going to be there.
Excellent.
I might be there. I'm not sure, but we'll see.
I was going to say Jeff goes to everything, and if you actually really want to feel the FOMO, this man is at every event, every premiere, falls backwards into meeting people. Was it Seth Green and Dave Filoni? I think the most recent.
Just happened to sit down in front of me, and I was like, okay. No, it was Dave and the other part of Robot Chicken, Matt Steinreich, but Seth was there as well, and I talked to him later. Was able to talk to him after Disturbance in the Force, which is
Jeff
amazing.
Caffrey, the VCN representative on Getty Images.
The Force is strong with him.
The only VCN rep on Getty Images for sure.
That's amazing. He's our real life Kramer. He just like falls backwards into these like incredible experiences. It's awesome. So every Monday when we do Rebels Revisited, we jump on a few minutes ahead of time and chat with each other, me, Jeff, and Ashley. And Jeff fills us in on his fabulous week, because there's always he's like, oh, I had a pretty, normal standard week. And then he's like just hanging out with Dave Filoni. And I'm like, what the hell? So definitely follow Jeff on his socials.
I got a bone to pick about that. It's just we're on a VCN show. No, he's like, oh yeah, Dave Filoni, I host the whole Star Wars network. No, he's got to talk about the schmo that cosplays as Filoni, but not to plug show his own projects.
Thank you for plugging the schmo.
There you go. My head went to somebody I know likes to dress up as you. And he was like, okay.
What do you say to that? Look, I didn't know what to say to Seth Green. He was super nice. I had to pay to meet Seth Green, by the way. That was Rhode Island Comic Con. And he was also super nice. And he was like, "Oh, do you know Dave?" As if I'm just hanging out with Dave Filoni in my spare time. He was very sweet, though. And I'm thinking, like, no, but I know a guy who looks like Dave, who's also named Dave. I do hope Dave Filoni makes an appearance sometime in 2024. It feels a little overdue.
Yeah. The thing about Seth Green, if you haven't watched the first episode of What If, the new season of What If on Disney Plus, do so and enjoy Seth Green as Howard the Duck. Just killing.
He's a standout in that episode. By the way, What If has, at this point now, by the time this airs on January 1st, happy 2024, everyone, What If should be over. In real life, we're only a couple episodes in, and Seth Green so far is a standout of the series, and I'm really enjoying What If so far.
And if you have not watched episode 2, it is insanely amazing.
I liked episode 2.
I'm only one in, so yeah. Dude, Seth Green is just a treasure anyway. How good was he in the Disturbance in the Force? How the Star Wars holiday special happened?
I got my copy. I got my copy yesterday, actually.
One of the 3 interviews that happened in Scum and Villainy for that movie, and because of my knowledge of that, I scored a Stormtrooper pop at the most recent Fat Man Beyond podcast with Kevin Smith, where
see, we couldn't make this up. Like, Jeff, you should actually just be doing a weekly recap on what's going on in the life of Jeff Caffrey. That should be a show on the network. So
right on the Virtual Cantina Network.
Exactly.
I would watch that. I would honestly watch that.
Well, I will say that we were on the happy hour Zoom, and Jeff literally, up until the Kevin broadcast, was walking up and down Scum and Villainy so we could all see what's going on and mapping out what we're doing for Bunta. And it's
except for the part where I had my blur filter on, like I do right here.
Oh yeah, it kind of felt like we were watching without glasses for a while. So.
Yeah, like, this room foggy.
Well, look, we have we're going to put Jeff in charge of all social events for 2024. And with that, I do want to go around the room. This time, we're actually going to start with Jeff and make our way to Spencer. What are we most excited about in 2024? And I think we can all say family vacation, Bunta Eve, all of that outside of network stuff coming up in the Star Wars space. So what will Lucasfilm be making for 2024? What are we most excited about? And Jeff, I'm going to start with you.
Wow. Is Skeleton Crew dropping next year, or did they push that?
You know, I don't believe it's a real show.
It's should be the first one we
lack
get.
of information is sketchy.
I heard it's been swapped. I heard that's gonna be end of the year for Skeleton Crew.
I heard that Acolyte. Okay, so I should actually set the stage for this. Confirmed in a press release recently, Acolyte is definitely confirmed for 2024, and so is Skeleton Crew. But I do think Acolyte is first, and then Skeleton Crew. They also mentioned coming soon. Bad Batch Season 3, which I think was announced at Celebration as well as the final season, but not necessarily in 2024.
No,
and then
it's
Andor
2024.
Is it 24? I didn't see a release date. And then Andor Season 2 is probably moving to 2025. The strike also probably will push stuff. And even on the Marvel slate, just as a reminder, there's one Marvel movie next year, and it's Deadpool. The only other Marvel thing happening, there's potentially 2 TV shows. Echo, which drops in January, and then I'm forgetting one.
Is Madam Web coming out next year?
Oh, that's Sony and
February.
Yeah, that's a Sony thing? Okay.
Yeah, that's Sony.
Exactly what the connection was.
And Deadpool debuts the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That'll be fun to see Ryan like running around terrorizing people in San Diego. And look, if you follow Hugh Jackman on Instagram the way I'm sure Mike and I do, all he's doing right now is getting in shape for this role. So there's nothing happening in his life other than Deadpool and exercise. So yeah, and Ryan Reynolds is just posting fake leak spoiler stuff. So I think the movie is actually going to be really fun. All right, Jeff, most excited about for 2024 in Star Wars? You don't have a lot of choices.
Yeah, so probably Skeleton Crew more than Acolyte, but I think Acolyte will surprise me, and I will be very into it, especially considering the talent that's involved. Again, also with Skeleton Crew, I mean, they have a good lineup. But other than that, I'm looking forward to the meetup in San Diego for San Diego Comic-Con. that should be a very cool, fun event. San Diego Comic-Con in general is just hectic and madness, so that's always a cool thing to experience. And this year, well, next year, no, this year, because today is the first. We'll be able to experience it with people that haven't before, which will be another whole thing. It's like, when a parent introduces their kids to Star Wars and sees it through their eyes, this will be like the same kind of thing, but with San Diego Comic-Con, and seeing how Dave reacts and how April reacts and how Spencer reacts and how everybody that hasn't been there before is taken aback by the massiveness of that show.
I kind of feel I'm going to be like Sheldon Cooper with the paper bag hyperventilating. So
here's the good news. It's a big show, but it's not actually as crowded as New York Comic-Con because there's so much more space. So you can actually move around a lot more easily.
So much stuff going on outside. The show floor is usually pretty packed unless there's a big thing going on in Hall H where it kind of pulls some of that crowd into the 6,500 seat room. But you could spend a day or two or more even probably just wandering through the different things they have set up outside for the different properties and companies that are going to be heavy there, especially this year. I think they're going to come back harder since they'll have their talent to tout, and anything new coming up will have a huge presence.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like this year's going to be big on announcements because, like you said, they're going to have everybody able to be trotted out instead of having the strike going
fly
on.
people down from LA for a half day, and they do their thing and they make their appearances and they get their photo ops and they're out and they come right back to work or whatever, back to their normalish existence. But it'll be a big show, and I do LA Comic Con as well, but it's nothing compared to that. WonderCon here in Anaheim is nothing compared to that, even though it's run by the same people. It is kind of like San Diego Comic Con light. If you have an opportunity to go to that and don't have an opportunity to go to San Diego, it's a good alternative. But
WonderCon I'm going to say WonderCon's a lot of fun. I love WonderCon.
Yeah, it's a great show, and it stands alone. So it's just
and it's not hectic. It's fun.
Right.
And I think we all have to go to MegaCon this year. Is that the one that's everyone's getting booked for?
Yeah.
So a
ton of people.
Yeah, Hayden, Ewan, Tamora, Migna. It seems pretty bonkers on that front. I don't really know MegaCon all that well, but that's Orlando, right?
It's where they did Celebration 2017.
Oh, there we go. So I was like, I knew there was a Disney connection, and I'm okay. That's going to be a crazy show. Maybe we'll do something there as a VCN. TBD, because this is all very breaking news. All right, Bryce, what are you looking most forward to in 2024?
I'm with Jeff. I'm as much as I'm a High Republic and looking forward to Acolyte, I'm looking forward to Skeleton Crew because it's different. It's different than anything that we've had in Star Wars. It's almost like it's dealing with the path that we come to find out, like with the Obi-Wan show, like it seems to be in that, but post original trilogy, era. But I'm really looking forward to that. I like Jude Law as an actor, so it's kind of see him in Star Wars. I'm kind of anxious to see how that all turns out. Looking forward to ICCC with the crew. Going to be working a little bit on that show, and can't go to the family vacation next year, so that's been the one little bit bummer. But that's just why we're making ICCC that much more important for me to see everybody.
Come to Rhode Island as well.
Mm-hmm. Spencer and I've been we've had a little sidebar on that one, so that might be just a me trip. So we got to do a family trip, and then I can do a solo trip. So
totally fair. It's becoming a little bit of our geeky mecca for the VCN, Rhode Island.
I've been envious the last 2 years with the amount of people that are there from just you guys in general, and then seeing all the talent that's there. It's like, oh
yeah, it's been spectacular. Look, I think 2024 is going to be a year of meetups. All right, AJ, what are you and your brother looking most forward to in 2024?
Yeah, Mark, you actually hit on it right there. The fact that it's a little bit light on news and releases, I think it's going to be more about the personal connections in the fandom.
Mhm.
So I don't know which ones I'll be at yet, but I will be at them. But I just we taking pre-orders for the family vacation. Can't commit to it yet. That doesn't mean I won't be there, but just got to see how the way things shape out with other things going on. In Star Wars specifically, I'm actually excited for the Acolyte. I know Skeleton Crew's getting all the attention, but the Acolyte seems like the project that's going to be a little bit more off kilter. So I want to see what that's like. I want to see that's in between the High Republic and the prequel era, correct?
Yeah.
yes,
And
That's an
Dark
unexplored
side
territory.
yeah, and
Yeah, I
villain
like that
protagonist
angle.
potentially. So I'm in with you on that. It's going to be weird. It's going to
Mhm.
be dark. Carrie-Ann Moss is in it.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Mhm.
Just put her name on something and I'll go. Like that's
Right.
enough for me. But the rest of
Yeah.
the premise is equally compelling.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And then also because everything got shuffled around and there's not a whole lot coming out this year, I think the announcements themselves and the more details we get for the 2025 projects are going to be really exciting. So I'm looking forward to getting more details on the Rey movie and whatever else is coming. Hopefully a release date. I think, that if we go all the way through 2024 and don't have a release date on the Rey movie, that's going to be a real miss
Red
on
flag.
Disney's part. So I think we're going to know
Yeah.
what the future of the franchise looks like for a couple of years to come by the time 2024 rolls over to 2025.
Well,
they
here's the
might
big
save
question.
that for Celebration 2025, though. That's my thing. I think the big movie announcements and dates might be saved for that event. That's just my
Or
speculation.
release a trailer or teaser trailer. So
Yeah.
Well, this is the big question. What movie's first? Is it the Mando movie? Is it the Rey movie? Is it the unknown, 100 years before the Jedi? What is that, High Republic timing, Old Republic timing movie? Because there's 3
Yeah,
Yeah, the
movies.
Dawn of the Jedi movie.
It's,
Dawn of the
yeah, Dawn
Jedi.
of the Jedi is like before High Republic. Which
Yeah.
I think we're going back to like
Thousands of years.
Oh, yeah.
Hu Yang birth date is probably more so like how far back that goes.
Yeah. They need to keep the hype train rolling though, because the last movie was 2019. Next year is 5 years since we've had a Star Wars movie in theaters.
Yeah.
So at least get some news out there.
We need something. By the way, before I forget, aside from the actual current projects, we do have a significant anniversary happening in 2024. It is the 25th anniversary of Episode 1, which in my mind, as someone who works in marketing and works as a licensee, they'd have to treat this as the 25th anniversary as the start of the prequel era and celebrate all things prequels. And I think we as a network will likely be doing something around that as well. More to come. We're still figuring that out. But they have to be pushing Episode 1 something. And I don't think they'll re-release it in theaters. And I certainly don't think they're going to update the special effects or do a new release. God help us. If there's another cut of that movie, no. But there's going to be something to celebrate. Probably merch.
Let's release them in 3D.
Oh, no.
We get a fresh run of the Jar Jar tongue pops.
Yeah.
Look, what I was thinking.
I will say something about the Phantom Menace though. And we've only Hasbro has released the Black Series figures. And I'm a big Black Series collector. They've only ever released Jar Jar. That's been the only figure they've released really from Episode 1 in their traditional line. They have.
I was going to say Maul was number 1 of the whole series.
That was. I guess. Sorry, let me rephrase this to the Galaxy box sets with the one that had the murals along the side, which each property has its own color and its own mural, so you can really do some cool stuff with that. Jar Jar's been the only one they released for that particular line. We are getting young Anakin, and we are getting Padme. And that's supposed to be figures that are supposed to be coming out in 2024. So like what Mark's saying, I think we're going to get some really cool stuff. I was super excited to see that Jake Lloyd's figure is coming to the line where I had to jump on that pre-order as soon as I could.
Mm-hmm.
Super excited about that.
I really want to see. Look, here's the thing. Full transparency, I'm not a big fan of that movie or the prequel movies in general compared to like the original trilogy, but I love the Clone Wars, I love Rebels, I love the time period, I love the ideas that are in those movies, and I do think that we should celebrate them in the way that makes sense. And there's a huge fan base out there, so please let there be merch, please let there be special screenings, please let there be something to acknowledge that this world was created 25 years ago and it gave us all of these other things, the 3 movies, the Clone Wars, everything that came from it, these awesome characters, the books, everything. I want Disney to really make it feel like an event, especially in a year where we are so light on content and there's no celebration. Maybe something happens at D23, all around the prequels. That could be really cool. Yeah,
you're right though. To your point, this whole show wouldn't be happening right now. This Virtual Cantina Network might not even exist without that movie.
Yeah,
that it restarted the franchise after a 16-year fallow period.
Yeah, exactly. We have a lot to be thankful for from the 1999 movie, not least of which I think we all love Darth Maul. I think everyone loves Ewan McGregor. Look, Ewan and Hayden are back, right? Like they're doing, they're giving all of the prequel kids prequel-centric content in our newest content. Ahsoka played back Clone Wars stuff, but it's all extension of the prequels. So there's a lot of that brewing, which is exciting. All right, Mike, I'm going to kick it over to you. What do you?
Well, the line from Ahsoka. This is a Clone Wars. Yeah, no kidding. Which I thought was a little tongue-in-cheek, but it was awesome.
Yeah, there's the newest one.
The possibility that something big would be announced at D23 is very much an option, I think, based on the fact that there aren't other big Disney cons.
This is a hype year.
So I think very likely that at D23, after we come back from the family vacation and we're decompressing, we're going to hear some more Star Wars news, I would say.
They have to give us more news, and I think to AJ's point earlier, we need to get news early. If they wait for 2025 to tell us when the next movie is coming, we are going to start to lose faith. I think that they'd be better to give us a date and then share a trailer and then whatever else. Like give us a title, a date and a title. Like that's good enough for me. Like the name of the Rey movie with the date it's coming out, and then hold that date. Jesus Christ, hold the date. Like that's all they need to do. Tell us it's coming in 2026.
Don't give us another Rogue
Release
Squadron.
it in 2026. Yeah, no. How many movies have evaporated off of the slate? And it's not specific to Lucasfilm. It's Lucas, it's Disney, it's WB, it's Paramount. I can't tell you how many projects were canceled during the strike as a negotiating tactic. How many TV shows are just not coming back? They weren't canceled. They just it's like losing a friend. It's just like, oh, where'd they move to? They didn't break up. It just ended, right? Like that's what has happened now, and it's really sad and disappointing.
Right.
Yeah, they need to get the ball rolling, build up momentum.
Yes, that's what I think exactly we need. All right, well, that was bleak, so hopefully we'll pull it into I think there's a lot of positive stuff coming. So, Mike, what are you looking forward to?
So I'm looking forward to, of course, the Acolyte, because it is that bridge between the High Republic and the prequel trilogy. So it's going to start connecting everything all together. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Phase 3 of Star Wars, because we had the first book in 2024 at the end of the year, but everything else in 2024 the High Republic. Looking forward to that big time. And I'm also looking forward to Outlaws, Star Wars new game, and that's going to take between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So it's going to be really exciting to have that game out. Those are my 3 big tops for 2024.
Nice. I think that's all good stuff. All right, Dave, what is on your list other than first time attending San Diego?
I know that's going to be absolutely crazy. And like literally I'm road tripping across the country to do it. I'm not just going to fly in and, oh yes. It's going to be
horrifying. Who's in that car with you?
That would be my wife and child. So that's going to be a thing.
Right, good luck
we've
to all
done
of you.
that before. We're a big road tripping family. So that's the thing.
Jason and I can't drive any longer together than 2 hours. That's like the limit.
Don't do that. Woo. But so I think my major Star Wars thing really is going to be, some people have mentioned it like in passing. Of course, yeah, I want to see that. But I am super excited for the Acolyte. As a part of that coverage that we did for London, and as much as we watched, just seeing those actors from that movie and how much press that they did, and seeing just how giddy Eunice is about playing the another Wookiee, in that film, has me really excited to see that, and how he's going to interact and how all the rest of them are going to work and do that. So I think that's my big one. It's going to be the Acolyte, and I'm just itching for that to happen.
And I do think we're getting that first at the top of the schedule. Cool. So that'll be exciting. All right, Spencer, top of the list for you. I'm assuming it's Vacation.
No, Bad Batch season 3.
Ooh.
I don't know if it's happening in 24, but I'll allow it. I'm just suspicious.
So I would like to invite, thank Buzz Killington for joining us today. No, honestly, I mean, I love season 2. I thought season 2 was absolutely brilliant in many capacities. I know it saved that franchise for you, Mark, in particular. I'm very invested, especially after the death of Crosshair.
It made us cry. It
wasn't Crosshair who died.
It wasn't Crosshair.
No, it wasn't Crosshair.
It was Tech.
The Tech, sorry. But still.
Just dead to you.
Yeah, he's dead to me.
He's my favorite.
I know.
I love Crosshair.
But
that's our sister.
He's definitely gay coded. He's gay and annoyed, and he's like, "Forget this, I'm out of here."
Right. But I would say, obviously, I'm excited about Skeleton Crew, especially having seen the trailer in London and the trailer for Acolyte, which as well with getting to meet Carrie Ann Moss in Rhode Island, and how excited she is for us to be able to see that property. Is pretty exciting about that. But then, yeah, of course, the family vacation. Our meetups are like stepping up this year, not just because of family vacation. We're going to be at most big cons in the country. We're going to have a major presence at ICCC this next year, which is, which by the way, as it is January 1st today, tickets do go on sale for ICCC, and use the code VCN ICCC and get 10% off of your ticket purchase. So right there, that we're going to be very much involved in that con.
You totally forget that is in a pin post at the top of the page. Go look for that.
We're also going to be, we're in talks right now for another con to have a major presence at this year. We're going to meetups, and with the assistance of our events director, Kathy Chase, we're going to be taking it up very big this year as far as meetups concerned. And honestly, there's a method to our madness. If you've ever been to any of our meetups before and the other cons, it's trickled out because it's supposed to be a feeding ground for what we do in London, what we're doing in Japan, what we do in any future celebrations, which all this goes back to is that celebration can be daunting in itself, but going to any other con and then going to celebration, it's a family reunion, and that's exactly what celebration needs to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and you have people to help you if you've gone to these other cons and these other meetups. When you go down to celebration, is you've met all these other people. As what happened to me at my first celebration is I'd gone on the first family vacation, and all the people that I knew, and I meet up in line, and it's like, okay, where do I go? What do I do? Where is this? Right there.
Share that info. I've had that thing with celebration since the very beginning, where I had first time meeting people in real life that I'd interacted with for years online. And then it just has continued and snowballed from celebration to celebration to celebration to other cons to whatever. To non-con related things. So the fact that it can expand like that, and it kind of is, a little bit of bittersweet where you don't get to see people, but you look forward to that event because, hey, they're going to be there as well. So,
I mean, hell, I got to hang out in Florida with Jeff, with your roommate from Celebration 1 during my weekends. So,
well, yeah, so it's a lot of fun. It's a very cool kind of experience.
Yeah, I think
it goes both directions. I met Spencer in person first. We made that connection at Celebration, just as fans talking to fans, and then here we are now virtually continuing the association, getting on the network and stuff. So yeah, the connections you make through the fandom are just incredible.
Oh yeah.
That's been my favorite part of all this. I've been a licensee for Star Wars. It's 10 years now that it's 2024. Wow, a decade. And that long of getting to know the various fan site owners. I think Spencer and I met in 2018.
Right.
And then I joined the network officially like 3 years ago. And it's been so much fun getting to know everyone. Like that's the best part. When I think back about 2023, it's actually less about the TV shows and more about all of us discussing the TV shows. We're meeting up in London, Rhode Island Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. Those meetups were so fun. So hoping to do a lot more of that in 2024. That was at the top of my list, was I'm going to try to go to even more events in 24. And my husband was like, what's wrong with you? Like, are you not doing enough already? So there's that. And then I did ask Ashley what she was most looking forward to, and hers was in the same space, wanting to meet up with everyone. And then she was also hoping for another season of Tales of the Jedi, which they have not announced another one, but another little mini anthology of another like lesser known character or someone that needs some development. Like the Dooku stuff was great.
We need
Well,
I did read something, Mark, that it should happen sometime in 2024. The second season of Tales of the Jedi. Now it's rumor, but but I did see something that the actual 4 shows would have been Bad Batch season 3, Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, and Tales of the Jedi.
That makes sense. I was thinking, if anything, the Young Jedi Adventures they would try to prioritize, given that on-ramp for kids seems to be working really well. And Tales of the Jedi was good, but like it was really a setup for Ahsoka, it felt like. So you can do that whenever. I do think that they need to figure out what to do with Baylan Skull now that we no longer have Rey, unfortunately. And if they did make an animated series, maybe there's like someone who could do a pretty decent voice match, to help finish that character's story. It's just so crazy to me because it's I talked about, you will see this on the Rebels Revisited year end that we have for Christmas Day. So join us on Christmas if you didn't see it. I talk about, that's what I think the most interesting plot point left from Ahsoka of where we're going is where Rey was going. Like we're headed to Mortis, and whatever's happening there has huge implications. So curious to see what they do next with that. If they're going to be able to tackle it on a go forward. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think, all right, thank you guys. I think we covered so much for 2024 within Star Wars. I'm very excited to see that there's a lot for us to look forward to and that everyone's really excited about meeting up. We also have a lot of virtual stuff happening, and we have a couple of announcements. We have, so the show's on the network currently. Monday night is Rebels Revisited. On the Wednesdays, we have either the Nerf Herder Council or Daughters of the Galaxy. Every Thursday, of course, is the Thursday night watch along, where we do various shows, sometimes movies. All sorts of fun stuff are happening in this November, December. And then on Sundays, it alternates between the Unifying Force and the Jedi Archives. Going forward, we have a couple of new shows joining the network. Which one's up first? Does someone want to talk about the High Republic? Because we are starting a High Republic show.
Yeah, so we're starting a new High Republic show. This came out of the fact that we have so many people who love the High Republic, and with Acolyte coming on, our big worry is that the fandom's going to be like, wait, what? I got to read? I got to do something other than watch my television? So the Virtual Cantina is setting up what I like to officially call the Cliff Notes version of the High Republic to get you ready for Acolyte, but then also embellish upon the lore of the High Republic. It's not going to be centric towards the Acolyte because obviously we'll have shows programmed about the Acolyte and the Acolyte after show hours, which I was told that is going to happen again because that was incredible for Ahsoka. You guys did a bang up job for that. So
the Ahsoka after show was really fun.
So looking forward to or as I affectionately call it, the Idiot's Guide to the High Republic. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. We got some great talent involved in that, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
So we'll be announcing who the hosts are, as well as the date and time, a little bit into 2024, probably later in January or February, once we have all the details locked in. Also, once we know when Acolyte is coming out. The real focus for the network in the first 2 months of the year is we are going to be doing an Ahsoka Revisited. So Jeff and Dave and Spencer, take it away on this one, because I know you guys are so excited about bringing talent back to the network now that the strike is over.
Dave, why don't you grab this one?
I mean, yes. How exciting is it going to be? Is we had, before the strike and all those things, we had already been talking to people who are in the show in critical parts of the show about coming on and reviewing their episodes the way we generally did, and we couldn't do that, and just you got to watch the episodes with us, and as much fun as that is, but it adds such a huge layer. And we've got in the graphic there with Hal Hickle, as Hal has been on the show a number of times before, and it is hugely fun to hear his insights. He's for those who don't know, an animation director at ILM, and he's fingers in everything and this and that. We've got him on the schedule. We have the actual on-screen talent on the schedule for a lot of these episodes. So going to be greatly fun to go back and revisit that show, but now getting some more in-depth insight and having a chance to see it again and enjoy it again as well.
Just listening to Hal's stories and other, cast members and, production people that have been on with us to talk about whatever the property is in and of itself is amazing. And then, having that connection with the show and, the information that they put out there is really cool.
And the answer questions.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Love that. It's like a VIP special screening. I love it as a participant. So
those really are a show that you guys that non-hosts really want to watch live, because yes, we do filter your questions to the people that are on the show with us, and that makes it even better too, because you guys think of things that we don't think of.
Oh yeah,
it's super fun and informative. I love it.
So everyone set your calendars. This Thursday, January 4th, starts Ahsoka Revisited, Episode 1 with Hal Hinkle, and then we'll be doing all 8 episodes of Ahsoka. So for the first 8 weeks of the year, you know what you're doing every Thursday night, joining us on the VCN to talk Ahsoka with members of the cast and crew, which is very exciting.
And also just want to point out that if you are lucky to get one of the golden tickets to go to the full entire trip for the family vacation, you're actually not only going to be able to meet Hal, but participate in a very special private signing with Hal at Lucasfilm the last day.
So that's awesome. All right, and we have one more announcement to make in terms of shows coming to the network. As you know, I am the host of Rebels Revisited along with Ashley Brienzo. We are expanding the Revisited to create a new show, Clone Wars Revisited, because we just can't get enough animation. We're very excited to tackle all 7 seasons and probably the micro series as well of Clone Wars, maybe in episode order, maybe in chronological order. The Clone Wars is wacky, man. Like they're all everyone's nodding their head, they know. And it's actually going to be a 3-person panel. So Ashley and I are deep in the hunt for our 3rd co-host to join us, and we'll also probably have guests on as well. And anyone who's interested can, of course, join us at any time. This show is going to be late in the year, so I want to set expectations that when we say it's going to happen in the calendar year, it's going to be late. It'll be like well past the halfway point, probably after family vacation is when that show will launch on the network. So between now and there, we're going to be doing a lot of pre-production and organizing and finding our host, our 3rd host. And that's what we have planned for the network so far. Obviously, much more to come throughout the year. And as new things get announced from Lucasfilm, we will be tackling all of it. As Spencer mentioned, there will be an after show, I think, again, with Mike and Bryce and John for The Acolyte. Which is super exciting.
Coming for sure.
It's going to be a blast. And then assuming we'll do the same if and when Skeleton Crew, which is a real show that's totally happening, airs, and whatever else hits the network as well.
And after show will air on Fridays, like we did the after show for Ahsoka.
Nice.
Very cool.
I like that because the week is filling up, and as you know, Spencer would have us on 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, if we could. The days are filling
all the time.
Exactly. And we're trying to keep Tuesdays open mostly because it's also happy hour night. But we'll adjust as Disney Plus adjusts now that their shows seem to have drop times. Anyway, that's everything with us today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We hope you had a fantastic 2023. really looking forward to spending your 2024 with you. We hope to see you on the family vacation at Boon to Eve, at San Diego, at Rhode Island Comic-Con, at all the meetups, wherever you are geographically. If there's a big con in the area with Star Wars guests, we will try to be there. Of course, follow us on the Facebook page, Star Wars Celebration Japan 2025. That is the title. We are over 60,000 members and constantly growing. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and on Threads. Those are really the other main social channels that matter the most. I think that's it for the plugs. Oh, and visit our TeePublic store because we got all your merch covered.
Some great stuff, and we always have new stuff coming out instantaneously as far as TeePublic is concerned. But keep an eye out. There's always going to be new stuff. There's going to be more stuff involving the family vacation in the next couple of weeks, couple of months, as we gear up for it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And remember, there is a dot. It's a virtual dot Cantina Network.
Oh, that one I got to update that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Having issues with our username, and it's hard to keep up. All right.
All right. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us. And we look forward to spending 2024 with you. Have a fantastic year. Happy New Year. And we'll see you, hopefully, on the road in 2024. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be
with you.
May the Force of others be with you.
This is the way.
Live long and prosper.
Oh.
It's always got to be.